How does everything started? Like your foundation, the Darius Tobing Foundation, and also the place now is Paisley Things, right? And then I know that you have another market, which is Lokal Indonesia market. Can you tell us about that?
So, came back as an expat wife. Life is good, but a bit boring when you have nothing to do. This is a city where it's not that easy to go around and to meet people sometimes. I mean, I'm very happy to know that there is Noble who is able to, by now, connect the expat with the other expat communities for a lot of time, but the rest of the culture in Indonesia. So I just went from places to places. Anyway, I met one artisan that makes brooms. And you have one of the brooms here.
Yeah.
And it was just pure, what do you call it? Looking at the intricacy of the work of making this broom. So anyway, I asked him, and my Bahasa is not that great. His English is inexistent. So I went to visit the artisan in his village, and I looked at the way he worked. Mostly I look at the way he lived. And it's, how do you make a living?
Yeah.
How much money do you make out of these brooms? You sold it to me for a certain price in Jakarta, but in your village, how many brooms do you sell and how often do you go to Jakarta? I say, I never go to Jakarta. I just had a chance one time, somebody took me, that's where I met you. So I say, I'm happy to do something.
Yeah.
My background is design, so it's fun for me to work with materials. So I went to the village and I told him, well, let's make some brooms of different sizes, different shapes, and let's take it to the French Community Center. Well, we went to the French Community Center and it was a big hit and everybody was placing orders and asking and buying, and this artisan went back home with money.
Yeah.
Second time we went to the French school and same thing, we got orders. By then we were starting to make bird houses and bird feeders. We had a lot more brooms as well, and it was a big hit as well, and he made more money. When I went back to the village this time, everybody came to me and said, I can do this, I know how to make this, I can. So this is how the foundation started basically, and the artisans program to support them to stay home, work at home, make money at home, stop coming to the big cities, keep your skills alive in your own environment with your own material, with what you're used to work with, and take care of your family, and keep your cultural heritage and your skills heritage alive.
And when was this? How long ago was this?
That was in 2011.
That was
when it started. I didn't have a shop until 2012, and then by then I was squatting my husband's fourth floor. He kicked me out. He said I was taking too much space, so he put me into a house which we rented.
Yeah.
That's when we opened the shop, Paisley Things, as everybody knows it. This is our third address, but this one is permanent. We purchased the
building.
The building, and so this is housing the programs of the Darius Tobing Foundation. 3 programs, Paisley Things for the artisans. We have a social program called Urip Gawe Urup. This one is supporting orphanages, animal shelters, which we are very big on, and home for the elderly. And the third one, which started in 2016, and that's the market.
That's the market, okay.
And the market is to expose more artisans who have beautiful talents.
And as a foreigner, right, as an expat, Ibu, what were some of the initial challenges that you faced when you first established the whole foundation?
Actually, not that much challenges. I mean, definitely the location was a struggle because, of course, when you're an expat and you look to rent a location, the prices are exorbitant because they see a white person coming. So my husband ended up looking for the place, finding it, the second address after he kicked me out of his location. But they still saw a white woman moving in. By the time our rent came for due 2 years later, they jack up the price. So we decided to simply buy the location here, and we've been here for 10 years. But other challenges, it's at the beginning roads, because going to visit each artisan in their homes meant that we went from one end to the other end of Java. But by now you have freeways, by now you have roads that you can drive on. It makes our life a lot simpler.
And talking to the artisan, right, educating them, about their craftsmanship. Can you tell us more stories about that?
So actually, I don't teach them anything at all. I'm dealing with artisans that have something in their hands and the will to work. So it's their skills turned into pretty designs. So I look at what is their knowledge? how far can I take it? Basically, if they're able to make this, it means they can also make this.
Yeah.
So it's working with their own skills, giving them new designs, giving them the down payment, giving them the tools for them to simply execute the order. Then we go back to the village when it's finished, we take everything with us and we make the payments. So we are not a consignment shop. We purchase the stock that we order from the artisans and we retail it.
Can you share more about the mission and the vision of Lokal Indonesia?
So Lokal Indonesia was born for the fact that we used to, here at the shop, we have a second floor and that's our office space.
Okay.
So we have our tables, I have my own space. It was bringing friends that wanted to basically sell here at my shop. My shop is only selling the products of the artisans I support from the ground up.
Yeah.
So friends that were making pretty things wanted to consign here. I said, I don't do consignment. So it was about making an open house at the time. Now up there we can only put about 7 to 8 depending on the size of their products. And them wanting me to make it bigger.
Yeah.
So this is how the market was born, is finding a location that people allow me to squat for me to make a market.
Yeah.
And invite the entire Jakarta to come and discover handmade in Indonesia.
Okay.
Now we started the first time with 33 vendors and very, very soon we grew into a much bigger market. And people are actually now giving us locations to make the market. So it's based on whether if I like the location, whether if it's convenient, whether if it has parking, whether if I can decorate it myself also, because sometimes people offer me beautiful location, but I'm not allowed to touch anything. So it loses the essence of Lokal Indonesia. So yeah.
And why is the name Lokal Indonesia?
We are local and we are Indonesia. So we are local but with a K.
Yeah.
We are not local with a C.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep really just telling Indonesian, be Indonesian. If you are going to use in English word, because local definitely comes from the English language, but still you have your own way of writing it, keep the K. You know, Indonesia has its own language, has its own slangs and everything, but sometimes people feel very proud speaking English, you know, I mean, it's definitely the language of the world. But if you are going to make something locally here in Indonesia, keep it Indonesian.
Yes, be proud of.
Be proud.
Of your
Yeah, lokal pakai K, jangan pakai C.